for inviting me here. And of course, again, also, thank you very much for coming. And my name is ADOLF1, and I am assistant professor in the Hong Kong Polytechnic University in Hong Kong. And in Professor Rimmer's presentation, he has proposed a lot of logistic program models. You have the maybe European, Australian, American models, Hong Kong model, Singapore model. But then what actually made me surprised was that when he talked about the Hong Kong model, he mentioned about the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, but did not actually mention about PolyU. But anyway, this is something that I would be very glad, because if Professor Rimmer has already presented the PolyU model, it means that I don't need to present anything. But so anyway, I think in my presentation, what I would like to do are mainly two things. First of all, PolyU itself is a university located in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong, I suppose you know that it's part of China. So we also have a very strong orientation towards the Chinese market and the East Asian markets. And so what I would like to do is, first of all, we would like to present you our view on logistics, on the trend of logistics within China and East Asia. And secondly, in this, and we believe that logistic program itself is a very practical program, and ultimately, who are the major beneficiaries of this program is actually you, the students. And so on the other hand, we would also like to present what we think about what exactly you, the students, need. And finally, I would present the program of my university on how our programs are able to fulfill the logistic trends as well as the students' requirements. And so, I think perhaps I would like to start from 2008 and what are the impacts of the financial tsunami on logistic trends in East Asia. And I think we can start from here is that the financial turmoil can actually imply that we actually need even better logistics, because for all our productions, we need to lower our costs, we need to minimize it, we need to make our products as competitive in the global market as possible. And in fact, when you look at the latest 5 years plan by the Chinese government, what they emphasize a lot is to, I suppose this is the red point. Okay. Their response is to revitalize the Big 10 industries. And what do we say, so-called the Big 10 industries? 9 of them are the manufacturing industries, on how to improve the production process, how to improve so as to lower the cost of production. But I think perhaps more importantly is that one of them consists of the service industry. And this so-called service industry is logistics. And what they mean by logistics is that they want to make sure that not only the production process, but also the transportation process can be as smooth and efficient as possible, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of the time and delivery, and also in terms of the smooth transaction network, in terms of administration and bureaucracy. And of course, you were thinking about money, time, better administration, and less bureaucracy. And so how to do it? And also, where should we do it? Which aspect along the supply chain should we improve? But before giving our views on that, we can also look at the industrial responses, and mainly in China, most of the regions like the Pearl River Delta and the Yangtze River Delta, we are talking about manufacturing, secondary productions. And their response is also, they start to emphasize on deglobalizing the firm-based supply chain and logistics. And I think perhaps more importantly is that they also want to have a disruption-robust supply chain and logistics, and of which for them, and anyway, as we all know, logistics itself, on the one hand, it is a compulsory and important part of the production process, but also on the other hand, it's also something which is not coming very cheaply. You need a lot of capital investment in it. For example, in transportation, as we know, in maritime logistics, shipping, you have the very capital-intensive container ships. You also need to have very high capital investment in terms of building a port and to make the port to be operated in a way that it is efficient. And so, in a way, it means that the governments and the industry, we generally in China, we agree that improving logistics efficiency is something that which should be put in the priority. Well, and what they are doing is that what they need is we encourage infrastructure development. What we need to do is infrastructure, improve the efficiency and integration of different modes within the supply chain. And infrastructure heavily involves in transport and logistical nodes. And especially when we look at about seaports, logistic parks, inland port, dry ports, or even airports. And why transport and logistic nodes are important? It's because of the fact that these are the places where transactions take place. Most of the transactions, for example, custom clearance, inspection, paperwork, and then also the changing from one transport mode to another. For example, from trains from trucks to transfer of a container on a ship. And everything involving not only money, but more importantly, time and bureaucracy and efficiency. They are also transported here. And so, actually, the strategic direction in China is to develop the so-called node integrated all-mode supply chain and logistics. And in between, this also implies that how to ensure that, for example, a container port to be efficient. How can you make sure that administrative processes can be reduced? How can, and to do so, maybe you need technology, you need IT, but then also more importantly, if you have the hardware, who are going to manage it? Or are there anybody who actually knows how to manage it? And so this also, as complementary to Professor Rimmer's argument earlier in his presentation, in China especially, it also leads to the need of a lot of increasing professionals in logistics who actually possess professional knowledge in terms of managing the logistic industries. I would be the first one to admit that in many emerging markets like China, India, I don't know the case in Korea, but then in China, the transportation and logistic industry, they still have a very, I would say, a little bit bad or not so good reputation, is that it's still a very layman type of industry, of which most of the participants, they are expected that you are not really that educated. It consists of drivers. It consists of people who are involved in the physical work of logistics. And this is something that the trend in logistics is changing. Of course, we still need drivers, for example. We still need people to do the physical operation. But however, perhaps more importantly is that what we need for those who actually manage the logistic industry, we need people who are well educated and can actually have decent management knowledge and competency in coordinating the industry itself. And so, and from this point, it comes to the question about, so what exactly do the students need when you enroll in a program? And as Professor Rimmer has mentioned, going to any logistic programs, especially the master taught programs, either in the US, Europe, or I would even say Hong Kong, Singapore, they are not cheap. We are talking about maybe at least $10,000 US for each program. So it is also very important to know what exactly do the students expect. Well, this is actually last year. It's quite a coincidence that personally I am involved, and actually I'm a project leader on a project which actually try to address this question. It's part of my own research project, but also at the same time it's supported by my university, because they also want to know what happens is that what exactly does logistics students want in this program. I did a survey, surveying about 500 logistics students, half of them postgraduate, half of them undergraduate students. I have a list of questions, but mainly what I'm asking is, first of all, why did you join a particular logistic program? Why did you join the particular program by, for example, by PolyU? And also, what do you want, or what do you expect when you graduate from the program? And actually, there are a lot of results. And in fact, if you want to, you can actually contact me, send an email later and ask. I can actually send you a paper and a more detailed presentation about the detailed results. But I think there are actually 2 points there that based on the survey